Speedway Tavern. Speedway Tavern. Speedway Tavern. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Enjoy your stay. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. What's the news today? Have a drink, have your say. All opinions here today. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Enjoy your stay. Webby, GA, and Matt are here today. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Come and have your say.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a brand new Speedway season. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Now, there are many talking points, so many in fact, I don't know where to start. So, I've decided, not for the first time, to chicken out. I will say this, I'm looking forward to this season more than I have for many a year. So, here we go again, and as is traditional, I will add only in Speedway. Good evening, gentlemen. Have you all wintered well?
Well, we've wintered. Winter. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
It's it feels in a way that we haven't had Speedway for like 2 or 3 years with all the COVID stuff. That
Yeah,
you know,
first full season since 2019. So
Exciting, eh?
yeah, absolutely. It is. Yeah, I mean, it's the big news from my point of view, of course, is Birmingham is back.
Yep.
With somebody at the helm that seems to, I mean, we've said this before, of course, but seems to have an understanding for Speedway and is realistic about things.
I think so, yeah. I think obviously we'll talk more about that in due course, but I think bear in mind the delays. I think Birmingham on paper look to have a good solid side.
I think so.
If they can get the ball on the track at the same time, of course, but we won't go.
We might go into that.
Go into that a bit later on. Yep.
They've not had a good start, of course, but Wolverhampton, how are you feeling about their chances?
Well, it's effectively the same team, isn't it? Really, apart from obviously Rory Schleiner's gone back to Australia, and we wish him well in his retirement. Steve Worrell's coming from Bellevue. And of course, Drew kept replacing Brock Nichols, so it's effectively as is for the large part. I think a lot's going to depend on those two new boys settling in. But obviously, they did pretty well last night. Obviously, the big acid test is going to be against a very impressive looking Sheffield team in a week's time. But I think it's going to be a team that's going to be certainly in the mix, and as we say. That's the first target, of course, in any season is to make sure you're in that top 4 or in the top 6 from the championship perspective.
Oh, tonight is going to be the night that we put our heads on the chopping block once again. We've got a fantastic record. On getting this wrong. We're very consistent. But we'll give it our best shot. But what we would also love is for you guys to put your predictions for each league as we go through. We're going to start with the National League, then then Championship, and then Premiership. So yeah, put your predictions and so on. I mean, the National League's a bit difficult to predict because there are a lot of teams that haven't actually got 1 to 7s on the green sheet averages yet.
Not at the moment, no.
But I'll give it a shot anyway.
We may have to revisit the National League, I think. It's when there is obviously a meeting going on as well tonight, of course, down at Plymouth. So we'll keep tabs on that.
Have we got a score? Because that's started.
It starts at 7 o'clock. So if you just It's great to be prepared, isn't it? This is one thing we decided. We talked long and hard about this, and we decided not to prepare again like we normally do.
Yeah.
It's a tradition thing, isn't it?
It's only in Speedway Tavern.
Okay, yeah.
I think we should start by saying.
Definitely. I probably need to say hello to a few people.
Okay, go for it.
Who actually, took the time out to watch,
May I
watch
just
me.
say that I haven't got the
I'm going to get it
Okay.
in 2 minutes, okay?
Fantastic.
Online we've got Dave Twine, Brian Ricketts, Sean Simpson, Brian Book, John Bird, Susan Jordan, Simon Corbett, Brian Ricketts, and a load more.
a load more.
Which I've
Your
lost.
your mic seems to be quite quiet for me.
Yes, I was thinking that myself.
How's that?
That's better.
Oh, thank you.
There you go.
Sexy.
We got.
You had to go there, didn't you?
Please don't
Sorry.
do that again. Please don't ever do
sorry.
that again. Wow.
You know you don't mean that.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so 8 heats gone down at Plymouth. It's currently Plymouth 16, Kent 26.
Okay, I might have to rechange my prediction. I might have to find it, of course. Oh, there it is.
You haven't written it down, have you?
I've written it down, yeah, but I've got a pen in case I change my mind as I go through, which is entirely possible. We've got lots and lots of stuff up. Do you want to read some of the comments before we get started?
Oh, hang on, I've lost my screen now. Wait, just talk amongst yourself.
I'm
The weather-
talking-
The weather's
well,
beautiful.
that's-
The weather's absolutely beautiful. Okay, so you got Stephen Bradford, who says he's watching.
Okay. Thank you,
Simon
Stephen.
Corbett, he's watching. Evening all. Evening all, says Andrew Gardner. I don't know why I'm speaking in the cockney accent.
No.
No. Nick Green says, welcome back, all of you, especially Chris. I didn't say that. Dylan says, evening chaps, finally back. Feels like it's been a long winter.
Yeah.
Ding dong, says Dave. Evening all, says Brian Ricketts.
Actually, it says evening chaps, but don't worry about it.
Fix it up a bit, will you? Shut up. Welcome back. Only joking. When I asked Lawrence to go easy on Leicester, I didn't mean that easy.
Well, yeah.
Happy to have my favourite sport back again and my favourite track too. Welcome back, says John Bird. Welcome back after a long winter, says Elliot. Craig says, Mike, as you're a Brummie fan, what are your expectations for the season? They got a heavy thumping last week, you won't mention, by Leicester. Was it a true reflection of the meeting, or was it a total walkover? Get into that.
Okay, should we just stop there and get into that as much as
Yeah.
I can? I wasn't at Leicester, but I have spoken to a few people that were, and yeah, they said the score was a true reflection of our performance. There was criticism of the track, as there always tends to be at Leicester, but that was a thumping, so that's not just the track, is it?
No, well, I mean, Leicester have had a very, very strong arm advantage, haven't they, since they got back into the championship. So I don't think Birmingham are going to be the only team to go on there and be on the end of a bit of a hiding, to be honest.
Obviously, there were mitigating circumstances. We didn't have Adam Ellis.
Very true, yeah.
And he was replaced by Ben Morley, who gave a good showing of himself, I think.
Yeah.
But it's not Adam Ellis, who I think is going to have a big season this year.
Josh Orty struggled as well, didn't he?
He's been having engine problems, as I understand it. That's why he didn't race last night. He decided to sort out his engines.
Yeah, it's tough for him though, isn't it? Because I mean, he's barely ridden for 2 years, hasn't he? I mean, obviously, like everybody else, missed out on 2020, and of course lost his place at Scunthorpe early 2021 in favour of, ironically, Adam Ellis. So. So it's going to take him a bit of time to get himself back into the groove, so to speak.
Yeah, but he certainly looked on the pace at press and practice. You can't tell, can you? But we say
they're going
this.
around on their own,
Yeah. I'm also encouraged by James Pearson's showing.
I was encouraged by his performance last night as well, really.
Yeah, he can gate. He doesn't mind sort of getting in there.
Yeah.
The worrying thing is that for every meeting that he's raced so far, he's fallen off.
Well, I would say the 2 tracks that he's seen so far are probably nothing like what he's ever seen before.
So, but For me, so okay, I was at Wolverhampton last night, and it wasn't a great match, apart from one unbelievably classic move by Bomber, which was a bit special. The rest of the night, it was rubbish. I'm sorry, Chris. I'm not. You was rubbish.
Said Mike.
For me, the most important thing that happened last night went on at Sheffield, from a Birmingham point of view, where Adam Ellis joint top scored for Sheffield in a win over Bellevue, 2 points. That was an exciting looking match.
Yeah.
And Stefan Nielsen did quite well as well. Talking of which, Dylan Spuddy Hodgetts says, would you be able to mention the new Stefan Nielsen Racing Facebook page, please? Only been set up a few days, but I'm putting a lot of work going in to make it a success for this season and beyond. There you go, I've mentioned it. So check out Stefan Nielsen Racing's Facebook page. So yeah, so that's encouraging. Those two results from a Birmingham point of view. As I said, I think it's going to be a big season for Adam Ellis this year. And it was great. Sorry to be a bit Birmingham-centric at the moment, but wasn't it great to see coverage of Speedway on Central News?
Yeah, that was
it was.
shocker,
It was
wasn't
pretty good as well, wasn't it?
It was good, yeah. So keep up the good work, guys.
Yeah, I'm wondering if other regions have got the same sort. If people could tell us, whether other regions have got.
I think
that
part
sort
of
of local broadcasting.
I think part of it was we've signed the British champion. That's a newsworthy story in itself, isn't it? But
that's right,
Was that a shocker when he was signed? Or
say again?
was it a shocker when he signed?
No.
There have been rumours, haven't there? I think floating around. So that's.
John Bird said Ashley Morris looked good last
He
night.
rode well at Leicester as well, didn't he? I think he was top scorer with 9 points.
Yeah, well, that's nice.
So.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he knows Mumma well anyway. So
he does. But he's looking quick out the gate.
Yes, he is. Yeah,
he's looking very quick out the gate, which is Dylan Spuddy Hodgetts says, I have to say there seems to be a big breath of fresh air around Brum since the takeover. I'm officially making Brum my championship team. The new Merc is beautiful too. I agree.
Merch.
And that as well. The new Merch is beautiful too. I think they've done remarkable to get the riders they have got, all things considered.
I think so. I think there's a bit. It's good to see a bit of positivity about the place, isn't there?
Absolutely.
I don't want to turn this into it's not the previous regime, but I think it was pretty clear that they mentally, I think, had checked out midway through last season. I think they'd already decided that they weren't going to.
I don't think it was even midway through last season. I think it was at the beginning of last season, if I'm honest.
Do
you think there's more of a brighter outlook this season for Speedway? There seems to be.
What you mean, the whole of Speedway?
Yeah, the whole of Speedway. There seems to be a lot more people talking about it in the off season. Previous seasons.
Yeah, I have to say I'm very pleased with the decision to introduce the streaming service for the championship.
Yeah,
I think that's a massive forward step.
That
starts on Saturday, doesn't it? Birmingham's
Birmingham, which is good because I know where I'm going to go all the way up to Berwick. Even on my new bike. Oh, did I tell you I've got a new motorbike, by the way?
I wonder what the noise was when we were outside 20 minutes ago.
I thought it was the bin men.
Fair enough.
I thought he was making a delivery or something.
Always got a new toy.
A new one this year.
Granada did it for Bellevue and Callender did it for Sheffield with TV coverage.
Oh, that's
coverage,
good.
Says Jeff Daniels.
That's good. I wonder if that's normal.
Craig Smee, it was a good meeting last night. As a Bellevue fan, the team is missing another big heat leader and proved so last night. If we had another heat leader, I've lost it now.
Yeah.
There you go.
We had another.
No, it's gone. Yes, we had another heat leader. We'd have got over the line last night and got the win. But you didn't. And you don't. Jake Allen had a poor meeting. Yeah, he did. And I think Lemon will make changes ahead of the start of the league season. I think Blimey, it's the first match of the season and people are already talking about changes.
I'm sure I've
only in Speedway.
I've read somewhere that there's talk about Matty Zagar possibly coming back into Bellevue at some point. I don't know whether that's just people.
Isn't Matty Zagar Russian?
No, Slovenian.
Slovenian, okay. That's something we should talk about as well.
We will obviously get onto that at some point. So, But yeah, I would agree with that. I think Bellevue probably are one heat leader short. I think from having from having a good side. Obviously, they've got Max Frick, of course, back in the league, but I think they're going to be probably a little bit dependent on him, certainly away from home.
He's going to have a good year as well, I think.
Yeah, it's good to see him back in the UK, but it was a good win for Sheffield last night, and obviously it was a War of the Roses match. They haven't half milked it, haven't they? Sheffield winning there at Bellevue, so
yes.
Fair play to them, though.
Well,
they've
yeah,
got, as I say, they will we'll obviously come on to this later when we do the previews, but
strong.
I think Sheffield look a good side this year.
Yeah. Dylan Spuddy Hodgett says, I think Ash will be in the Premiership at some point this season. Seems to be fired up. Might be the new Kevlars and bike covers. Talking of bike covers, isn't James Pearson?
Stands out, doesn't
he? You're not going to miss him. On a Wolves note, I have to say I'm massively happy for Leon too. Yeah. Looked more comfortable last night, and taking the scalp of Richard Lawson will do his confidence the world of good. Well, we all think the world of Leon down at Birmingham, obviously.
Yeah, I think it's a big thing for him to come to Wolves. I think there. Yeah. So.
Hope Bellevue can finalise. The team looks weak in the middle. Also, have Plymouth sorted out their replacement for Eddie Kennett yet? I don't think so.
Not that I'm aware of. Anyway.
This superheat in the Premier seems to be a talking point. There were a few draws last season. Okay, well, that didn't sound like a very positive little remark there, Matt.
I don't understand. Well, I've got a suspicion as to why teams have wanted to put this in, but to me it just seems pointless to say that you can't have draws.
It's a bit of an American thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just trying to force. I mean,
it's like having a penalty shootout.
It's just trying to force a result, isn't it? I know that Chris Van Straten and Peter Adams aren't particularly happy with it.
The teams that will be happy with it are the teams that have got a really strong number one.
Yeah, I think Ipswich might be one of those. That's a suspicion that some of the teams with the stronger top two have possibly looked to bring that in. I mean, I to be honest, if you look at this superheat, if you're going to have this superheat, then you might as well not bother having the previous 15 heats, right? It sort of renders that pointless. No, and again, something else. It's been done in one league, but not in the others. It's just no thoughts. It seems to be the usual speed, doesn't it? No thought into it, and just guaranteed to wind the fans up. So,
it will wind some fans up for sure. Yeah. It's John Bird said it's got to be all for the TV.
That's what I've heard, that it's been bought in. The TV have sort of encouraged it.
Okay, well, it's not the first time that sort of thing has happened, of course.
The thing is, there wasn't really any announcement made of it either. It was only because somebody saw it in the Speedway store that it got put on social media, and suddenly it's...
Yeah, I only found out about it last week.
Yeah.
And just because I was looking at the BSPI site and I was looking at the rules, and I thought, oh, what's this about superheat? What? Where? Okay.
Superheat. Oh no.
Where?
Does whatever a superheat does.
Shall we make a start then?
We started about 18 minutes ago, didn't we? So.
On our predictions, if you'd let me finish, madam.
Madam?
Yeah.
Who will win this season?
Oh my life!
He's been waiting to play that all year, hasn't he?
I always hate the first show because he always brings he forgets about him for the second programme.
Yeah. About that.
Okay, National League. We're just what we're just going to do, I think, is just do who's going to make the playoffs in the order that we think they're strongest, and so basically who we think's going to win. Does that make sense?
No.
Good. No change there then.
No, you don't make sense.
That's why I said it, sir.
Yeah.
Can I just say to all the people saying they're really worrying about the weather tomorrow and hoping it's going to be okay for us, can I just say this? Shh! Please don't tempt fate. Yeah. Nick Green says, superheat, oh my God, what will they think of next? Well, there's a good question. What will they think of next?
I'm sure they're thinking of something.
Dread to think.
Yeah, they'll be thinking of something.
Okay, so shall we go 4, 3, 2, 1, and we'll go around. Have you even thought of it? You made any predictions at all?
No, at all. No.
Okay.
I'll just go with the flow.
Okay.
Does it matter? I won't be anywhere near the relegation zone. So
Okay.
That's
For the
it's up to
National
me.
League, I've got Kent in 4th place. No, but no one. Yeah, you're 4th place now.
I think I went for Bellevue, 4th.
Okay, I quite like the look of Kent. They have got a really. I mean, they've got a very strong top two with that Alfie Botel and Ben Morley. But their reserves look a little bit weak. Sam Woolley, Chris Watts. But so 4th
Depends
place.
on how
for them.
quickly they sort of get into the stride, isn't it? So a little bit.
So what did you pick for 4th? Sorry,
Bellevue.
Bellevue. Okay,
Bellevue for 4th.
interesting. We're totally different.
Yeah, thanks.
Pitcher Brian Buck says the pitcher keeps freezing and I'm continue losing the sound. Is this just me? Probably. I think.
We don't look like we've dropped any frames. Nothing's gone. No, it's probably the Nokia 3310 is watching.
Yeah, you keep cutting out there.
Oh, no,
That's
no.
one. Yeah. I got in 3rd place Leicester.
That's where I went 3rd.
Okay.
I went for Leicester, yeah.
Always got a good strong team, and Dan Thompson and Joe Thompson.
They're going to benefit as well from racing at a higher level as well, aren't
Yeah,
they? So
yeah. I've got in 2nd place Berwick.
I think I went for Berwick 2nd place as well.
Okay. Okay. Carl Bickley, Greg Blair, Luke Krang, Karen Douglas, Ben Rathbone, Mason Watson, and Ace Piper, which is a great name. That's a proper Speedway name. So for 1st place, I've gone Bellevue.
I went Kent 1st place.
Okay.
So we've done
We literally
mirrored, haven't we?
Yeah.
So
Well, we're not a million miles apart, are they? Dylan says his top 4 are Kent, Leicester, Berwick, and Bellevue. So we're all picking the same. I mean, we have to add the caveat. You got Oxford, Mildenhall, Armadale.
but of course, not everybody's finished building their teams yet, have they?
So we don't know what they're going to be doing. Dan Gilks looks good at Plymouth, of course.
Yeah.
Possibly he needs to be out of that league now, but as a Birmingham fan,
A couple of new ideas for the BSBA that
Okay.
they bring in. One is they could go all round the wrong way. Electric bikes.
Yeah.
that'll come.
Yeah,
that'll come.
It's got to come soon.
Somebody did suggest to me once to improve team racing, they could have 2 go around one way and 2 go around the other.
Don't they do that in some sport?
Well, I think because
cycling.
people complain about too much tractor time, they should do the racing while the tractors are going around.
That's not a bad idea, actually. So
They could just run.
Isn't that athletics?
Oh, of course, yeah. I knew I'd seen it before.
Got a few. So we got Kent, Leicester, Berwick, and Bellevue for Dylan. Spuddy Hodgetts. From now, I'm fed up. I'm going to call him DSH.
Let's call him Duh.
Simon Corbett is Bellevue, Leicester, Kent, Berwick.
So we're all saying the same four,
yeah.
aren't we? So
Richard Thompson, Kent, Bellevue, Leicester, Plymouth. So
Plymouth obviously again in a bit of a beating at the moment. It's at home by Kent, of course. I'll keep a close tab on that one, see how that's going on.
and DSH says electric bikes with a bottle of methanol smelling air freshener on the back of the bike.
Don't really get the smell now, do you? That's
No, it's not methanol that causes the smell. Of course, it was the old castrol.
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I always thought it was methanol.
It was the oil. Yeah.
I'll have to stop drinking that now.
What you've never thought.
I've never thought.
Tom Owls is getting picture freezing as well, or pick tyre freezing.
Oh, right, okay.
So,
Yeah, it's 29-19 now at Plymouth. Jan Joggs has been Plymouth's top scorer with 5. Not really had much else support though. Connie King 4 from 3. Richard Andrews has provided their only other race winner. Henry Atkins has failed to score. For Kent, Alfie Bertel, 2 rides, 2 wins. Ben Morley, a win in the second. Joe Alcock's having a good night as well. He's had a second and a win in his 2 rides.
Was that 29-19 in favour of
Kent?
Kent, okay.
Yep.
So it's 19-29. Is it a Kent, is it?
Of course it's a Kent,
yeah.
No, it's Plymouth.
It's Plymouth.
It is a Plymouth, yeah.
So it's 19-29 then.
Yep.
Sorry, being pedantic there. Just trying to clear it up. DSH just said we can call him Spud because Aaron Summers has retired.
Okay.
There we go.
What about a pit
Having
stop?
a pit stop after 2 laps.
Yeah.
I
know, a fag break.
got to change the tyres.
Yeah.
That would
dancing
be,
girls after 2 laps.
That would be good. I quite like the idea of a pit stop after 2 laps.
It's for the fun of it.
Okay.
Somebody mentioned earlier regarding Coventry. Did we touch on that at all?
No, we didn't.
So what's happening now with Coventry?
I don't honestly know. I don't think a lot's happened since last we've talked about it, has it?
Not since we last spoke to Jeff. Last summer. So I know this thing's still bubbling away behind the scenes, and they're still working flat out to sort of make some progress. Of course, further damage at Brandon. Of course, I think the referee's box has been completely destroyed now. So
you'd have thought that'd be the first thing that got destroyed.
Yeah, I think it was at Dudley Wood. I know that. So, but yeah, it's
not looking.
It's not looking good. I mean, of course, I think there'll be all being well. Of course, I think there'll be quite a few Coventry fans making the short trip over to Peterborough tomorrow. Obviously, to see.
I hope so.
These, yeah.
I hope so. Simon Corbett says pick for the GP, Schmarschlik, I presume.
I think with circumstances, probably, yeah.
Yeah, because there's no.
Because obviously he hasn't got those first Grand Prix series where the world champion might defend his championship. Well, obviously, I'm sure we'll get onto that a bit later on, of course. But
yeah, I mean, we'd like to know your guys' opinions on that, on the Russians not being included. I feel like Speedway had to bring ourselves in line with all the other sports.
Well, let's get one thing straight first and foremost. What's happening in the Ukraine at the moment is nothing to do with Arsenal to go to an Emil Soffert.
Of course
it's not their fault.
No,
but I think unfortunately the Speedway had to be seen to be following suit, didn't it? Really,
I think so.
6 laps, says Neil.
Well, they did have that a few years ago. Might have been the first TV series, Elite League season. They had the last race of the night was always 6 laps.
Right. And am I not right in saying, or am I getting this mixed up with cricket? I could be getting mixed up with cricket because the 2 sports are very similar.
Yeah, right, yeah. Exactly the same. I think.
Didn't they have 5 laps per race in Australia originally?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
I'm sure somebody out there will know.
Here's another stupid question.
Go on then.
Probably touched on this before as well, but why do we go anti-clockwise?
I think you have touched on it before, to be honest.
Yeah, why?
I think it's just to do with the footrest, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why can't they put the footrest on the other side?
Stop picking holes.
No, it's, when you were talking earlier about 2 going one way and 2 go, I'm just wondering why.
We have mentioned this before, and there was an answer.
There was, wasn't there?
There was an answer, and I can't remember what it was.
It might have been for Mark Sorbers when he was on last year. I think that rings a bell.
It was probably somebody intelligent. So
anyway, Craig Smith says positives for this season. The new streaming channel BSN. I think the sport needed this. Yep.
Yeah.
Also, my lad loves the football sticker albums, and the fact they've made a Speedway sticker album this year is brilliant.
Oh, right,
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, I've seen there's a sticker book.
Okay.
That's going to be good as well. That's,
be good for kids and
my
adults
lad
alike.
will be made up when it drops on the doormat. We got another prediction: Mildenhall, Kent, Leicester, Bellevue. Okay, Mildenhall currently without.
Is that reverse order?
Yeah, the streaming service I think is something that's been. I know that we went to the public meeting at the end of last year, didn't we? And Lawrence Rogers seemed quite dismissive of the idea of streaming matches, didn't he? If memory serves me right, but I think obviously it's now come in.
Well, if it's done rather than done by individual clubs, it's done league wide. Then it makes sense. I think it was the cost thing of it that was that he was most.
I mean, it's good for for away fans. Obviously, when you've just mentioned there. Of course, the first match is Berwick against Birmingham. There's probably not going to be too many Birmingham fans making the long.
It's a long old journey, isn't it? Particularly at this time
to Berwick, but they happily watch it on. They can happily watch it on their on the laptop or the phone. So.
Dylan Spuddy Hodgetts, don't start asking logical questions. Sorry, Spud. Don't start asking logical questions when we're talking about Speedway. Logic is the furthest thing from Speedway.
What's he trying to say?
I don't think he tries.
He's trying to say you're thick. Or people. Oh, I see. I know what he's trying to say. Apparently,
the early bikes had a gear change on the hand side.
I bet that's not the answer, though.
It's an answer. I'm sticking with it.
I'm going to dispute that.
And Simon Corbett's touched on this. Still only 6 teams in the top league. Very sad.
Yeah, that's why they put all these extra competitions on, isn't it? So it's just got to try and make the league more affordable and more attractive for other teams to enter. Really.
And what do people think about this summer trophy in the championship?
So what's the format? Is that then?
It's just, as I understand, it's a sort of a knockout situation, isn't it?
Yeah, it's three teams per group, isn't it? I think.
From where?
It's during basically it's during the summer holidays, isn't it?
Hence why it's called the Summer Trophy. Yeah. We'd have it in December, would it?
Well, we are talking about Speedway.
Yeah. Okay, so who are entered in this Summer Trophy?
All the championship teams are.
Okay.
So.
Who is producing the sticker books, chaps? Asks Terry Leyland, which is a new name to me. Anybody?
No.
Silence.
No.
No
It ain't
idea.
me. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
No, it's not me.
I bet you wish it was.
Can I give you another stupid question? I know you're going to hate me. We probably talked about this before. Why can't... I know, you're going to laugh at me now.
Oh, yeah.
Why can't there be a competition between the leagues? Is that...
We've done it before.
But why isn't that? That would make it so exciting.
Because all the riders ride in two
leagues. Yeah, I mean that's the. Apparently, it's Curtis Sports that's producing the sticker.
They do quite a lot of that.
Yeah. Who are the sponsors of the Brummies this year? By the way, hello, Lawrence. Lawrence Rogers has just come on.
Oh, he's woke up. When you get to his age, you need all the sleep. You see. Yeah.
Brian Buck says most people being right-handed will find it easier to turn left.
Oh, that's been very leftist. God.
Neil McLean says, is it more because the throttle is easier to operate on the outside rather than stuck underneath you? But it wouldn't be on the outside, it would be stuck underneath you because even though you're turning left, the wheel turns right. So it is stuck underneath you. So I don't think that can be true.
I'm guessing there is no logical explanation.
It's probably just what it is.
Yeah, there's somebody started going that way, and one bloke went off on his own and says, "Look, the majority of us are going this way. Follow us."
Right, shall we crack on with our predictions?
Why not?
Okay.
So we've done the National League, so let's move on to the
Championship. Okay. I'm sorry, Lawrence. Lawrence has said a big thank you to the volunteers who were at the track today to lay the sheets and tyres.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, so I've got at number 6, Birmingham.
Is that more in hope than...
No, I think it's a good team. I think it is a good team, to be fair.
As I've said, the only concern I would have at Birmingham at the moment is whether they're going to be all on the track at the same time, because 2 matches so far and they haven't been able to put a full team out yet. I think on paper, certainly at home, I think they'll be a good side. They need to get some away wins though, because that's been the big problem over the last couple of seasons. Is they haven't been able to get.
They've come close.
on the. Yeah, I mean, obviously, that you think of what an illusion that first win of the season at Berwick was last year, the win on the opening night, and that sort of seemed to herald a fantastic season. It never got going, really.
No. Well, yeah. I mean, stuff like there were so many ifs and buts last season. I don't want to go over them, but I will say that I do think that the sixth place is between Birmingham and Redcar, which would be interesting. Yeah. So, what have you got in sixth place?
I'm trying to remember now. Let me just check my notes.
For goodness sake! You mean you're going to make it up on the spot now? Is it?
I think I went for Edinburgh to get sixth, actually, if memory serves me right.
Okay.
She's probably wrong. It's been wrong in the past, I know.
What, your memory?
Yeah.
Well, Edinburgh, of course, Sam Masters, which is great at that level, number one. Josh Pickering, Paco Castagna. Carl Thompson, Lasse Fredriksson, and James Sargent, and Jacob Hook. I don't know an awful lot about Jacob Hook. I know nothing about Lasse Fredriksson either. So, but a good number one.
Good number one, yep.
And Josh Pickering is not a bad second heat leader, is he? Paco's a third heat leader. Is he going to struggle at that?
Interesting to see how he gets on at Edinburgh, isn't it? Because it's a bit different to Monmouth. I mean, he'll get a great reception when he comes back to Peterborough because he was certainly very, very popular there.
Yeah.
So,
Spud has gone for sixth, Brummies, fifth, Redcar, fourth, Oxford, third, Berwick, second, Leicester, and first, Poole. So, what have you gone for at five?
I went for Glasgow at five.
Okay, and I went for Berwick. I'm just looking at the teams. I can't find Berwick. Oh, they're at the top, of course they are. I mean, we all know what Chris Harris can do.
When his bikes work.
Well, there is that. Ricky Wells is no slouch at this level. Liam Flint is the third heat leader. I think he's judging on last night's performance. He's
making good progress, I think, Leon.
So they've got a good engine room there with Liam Flint and Theo Piper. And they have Ty Proctor in there as well. So,
solid team, a lot of experience in that team.
Jai Etheridge and Carl Bickley at reserve. So it's good looking team. And you went with Glasgow. Well, Craig Cook, obviously, he's pretty unbeatable around Glasgow. Ulrich Ostergaard.
Interesting to see how Ulrich gets on because he was flying, wasn't he, last season?
He was,
that knock. So
really bad.
Didn't have a great night at or afternoon, I should say, at Peterborough in the Benford meeting.
After 10 heats, it's Plymouth 24, Kent 36.
Yeah.
Lawrence says Bomber's problem last night was the fuel. He changed everything. Okay. Where did he get his fuel from? And can we give it to Coventry next week?
He'll be like a greyhound tomorrow, won't he, Bomber? Really?
There was only one type of fuel.
Huh?
I thought there was only one type of fuel.
Yeah, well, there's two, with sugar and without.
God, I wish I was as clever as like what you are.
I wish I was as clever as what I thought I was. I think Scunny could surprise us, spring a surprise or two, especially the Doogie and Allen leading them and Palin at reserve, says Spuddy. Okay, so at 4, I've got Leicester.
Okay. Well, Leicester, I think, are going to be again. Leicester strong at home again. I think got a lot of good experience, particularly at the top end of their team.
Yeah.
So.
And a lot of experience at that track.
Yeah, they have there. I mean, it is a specialist track, isn't it? It's a track really where it's the home advantage is quite strong, I think. So, but I would probably put Leicester a little bit higher, to be honest. I think I've gone for, I think it's Redcar.
Okay. I'll hit you afterwards. And then at 3, I've gone for Glasgow.
3 I've gone for, and I'm delighted to be saying this again, Oxford.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Great
They
to
do.
see,
They do look like a very, very good team.
Yeah.
Troy Batchelor, Scott Nichols, Kyle Newman, Cameron Heaps, Jack Thomas, Josh McDonald, and Dylan Rummel.
I tell you what, Dylan Rummel impressed me at Peterborough last year.
Yes.
Really did impress me.
Yeah.
I did wonder whether Birmingham might possibly have made a look
Well,
in his direction. to be
Oxford
honest.
mate got their team out pretty quick,
Yeah,
didn't
they
they?
did. So I think they had to be honest, didn't they? So, but good, strong top 2 in Batchelor and Nichols. Scott's obviously got you know the most experienced rider in the league, isn't he? So, and of course, Jason Crumper, the team manager. So, yeah, I think exciting times at Oxford, and hopefully all being well at some point I'll be able to go down there. I've never ever went to Oxford when it was home before, so it'll be
No, I
nice
never did.
it's a relatively simple trip down there, isn't it? So
It is, yeah.
but and I think when are they due at Peterborough? I think it's midway through the season, isn't it?
I don't know, but I bet you Lawrence will tell us.
Yeah, probably typing first as we speak. So.
Yeah. Jeff Daniels has gone Poole, Leicester, Redcar, Oxford, Glasgow, Birmingham, top to 6th. There's a fair few putting Birmingham in there. That at the beginning, before our team was all signed up, everybody was putting us at the bottom, between us and Newcastle at the bottom. Yeah.
I should say, mind you, people were putting Birmingham quite up in their predictions last season, weren't they? And it never really
Yeah, it was.
worked out.
Yeah. Chris Harris made an apology on Facebook this afternoon. Is that the first
I saw
time a
that, yeah.
Speedway
Yeah.
rider has done that? No, it's not. It has happened before.
Twitter's the. Jim's talking about he's saying that this golden heat will probably be phased out before the season ends. As for the witches, the jury's out.
Oops. Yep. Okay. I've got for number 2 Oxford.
I've got Paul at number 2.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm wondering now. I've got no idea now who you've got at number 1. I've got Paul at number 1.
I've got Leicester at number 1.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We shall see. Of course,
I was up until Saturday. I probably would have agreed with you, but Leicester. I mean, it was a real. I mean, it was a ruthless performance really from Leicester, wasn't it? On Saturday, to be honest.
I don't think it was. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it pans out.
yeah.
We'll see how it pans out.
I just think they're going to have such a strong home advantage. I think Paul will push them close, and of course, as we know, it's not decided by league positions. It's decided by who does the business at the end of the season.
The end of the season.
Paul
yeah.
have done it so many times in the past, haven't they? But
yeah, I mean, we have to have that caveat with all of these that we're looking at. This is our get out, by the way. We're looking at it. What if all the teams stayed as they are for the whole season?
yeah.
Never happens, of course. Never happens, of course. And Chris doesn't. I just think I should say this. Chris doesn't need to make an apology to us. He was so fantastic for us last season, and stuff. Stuff happens. So, do we think the Golden Heats would be scrapped for playoffs? As with them being 2 legs, it makes it more interesting if it is level going into the second leg. Yes, I can't imagine them being in the playoffs. Can you? Because you haven't got a draw until the end of 2.
That's right, yeah.
And then if you have got a draw at the end of 2, what's this? You have Golden Heats.
Yeah.
So I don't think that will be there. I personally don't think Leicester look as strong as last season, and they missed out last season. Poole looked to have some solid strength in their team. Well, let's go through the teams. Leicester. Where are you? So they've got Nick Morris, again a great number 1 at this level. Richie Worrell, Kyle Howarth, Connor Mountain, Dan Thompson at 5. That's not at 5, he's the 5th rider in the averages, I beg your pardon. Anders Rowe. Oh, Anders Rowe's in
employment, yeah.
Don't upset him this year.
and Joe Thompson as the second reserve. Yeah, I'm not convinced about Connor Mountain. I don't know what your feelings are.
I've seen quite a bit of Connor Mountain. I saw quite a bit of him, obviously, while Birmingham were racing in the in the National League, and he always impressed me. And I think he has come on quite well over the last couple of years. So I don't think that'll phase him, to be honest. But I just think Leicester, purely for their home advantage, I think it's going to, if anybody goes to Leicester and win, I'll be quite surprised, to be honest. They'll probably lose 3 or 4 matches at home now, won't they? No, I've said that.
Bound to happen. Well done. Fair play to Poole with having the Ukraine flag on the left shoulder of their Kevlar's classy touch.
Excellent.
And who's got? So we'll look at Poole then. Steve Worrell, Danny King. That is a great top two, isn't it? Yeah. And Richard Lawson as well. That's a hell of a trio, isn't it? Ben Cook, Zach Cook, Drew Kemp, and Nathan Ablett. I don't see anybody. Yeah.
To me, it's Poole. It's Leicester or Poole, I think, at the moment, unless somebody comes along.
I hate to say it as well, but
unless.
But I'm hoping that we get to the playoffs and meet them and sign a great number one, just for the playoffs. Sorry. Spud says Leicester have a long tail to their team. If they all click, they'll do well, but it's getting them all to click. Unfortunately, they all clicked last Saturday. But I don't think that was. It obviously wasn't representative of the Birmingham team because we were without Adam Ellis, and Ben Morley was his replacement, and he was. It meant that we had members of our team that would normally be at reserve went into the top 5. So I still don't see us having won there, even with the full team, of course. Because let's be honest, it was a thumping. But I don't think it was.
Brian wants to know: do we have the details of the Coventry team for tomorrow evening's match?
We have got it somewhere, and Matt is currently, his finger is moving furiously on his phone. I think you'll find it on the main Birmingham website.
That's what I'm going to do.
I know Chris Harris is, and I think is Ben Barker.
Yep.
I'm trying to think. It looks a good, strong team, to be honest.
I mean, I know obviously Bomber was obviously very, very popular at Birmingham last season, but it just, as much as I don't like Coventry, it does look right seeing him in a Coventry race jacket, because that's where, ultimately he's had the bulk of his career. So, as I say, hopefully.
Well, we want to have a proper team anyway.
Yeah,
so.
I do think Coventry will bring a few over anyway. So there's still a huge amount of passion for the sport in Coventry. So
it's still massive, isn't it?
Have you got the team then?
It's not on there.
Oh, okay.
Come on, Lawrence.
Give us the team.
Big build-up for nothing, that was.
Have you heard the news about Peterborough and the plans for the showground? It doesn't look good for the future of the Panthers. Don't want any of this negativity. Could be another club gone by the end of 2023 if another venue isn't found.
I'm wondering if last season was the worst ever season for teams disappearing.
I think you need to get your mouth a bit closer to the mic.
Yeah, I'm trying to read
What,
do you think?
yeah.
Did you hear that?
No.
I'm just saying. Do we think last season was probably the worst season ever for teams disappearing, or were there worse years?
I don't know, but probably you need to sort your mic out.
It's still low.
It keeps cutting out.
Oh right, okay.
There's some crackling then.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't think it was in properly. Can you hear me now?
That's better.
There you go.
I don't know. That's too depressing to think about.
I know the houses at Peterborough have got a little bit closer to the stadium in the last few years.
It doesn't bear thinking about losing Peterborough. It's a great track. I love that track.
It is a good track, to be fair.
Doesn't bear thinking about it. I don't want to think about it. In Premiership League and League Cup meetings after Heat 15, when the score is level, a Super Heat will be used to determine the winner. In Premiership League Cup, after the conclusion of a two-leg tie, the scores are level, a Super Heat will be used to determine the winner. I thought it was Golden Heats, but
They may have changed that then.
maybe. Coventry team, according to their website, is Chris Harris, Ben Barker, Adam Roynan, Lewis Kerr, Joe Thompson, Luke Krang and James Sargent.
Do you know, I thought Adam Royden rode well last night as well for Birmingham.
He tried hard, didn't he?
He certainly didn't get the points. I don't think his performance deserved. Really, he really was. He really did ride well, to be honest. It's good to say as well because he's a very, very talented rider, and I think probably would have, had it not been for injuries, I think would have got a lot further in the sport.
Well, we better crack on because we've got a lot to get through tonight.
We've got 9 minutes left.
We've got
9 minutes.
So, the Premiership.
Okay.
You are not going to like me. But then again, you don't anyway, so
Well,
no
that's
problem. So, at number 4, I've got Peterborough.
Yep.
Is that what you've got?
I've got Peterborough fourth. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Just be interesting to see how they get on because it's not completely the same team.
No.
But, and of course the older ones are a year older as well. So they defied it last season. I mean, they had a great team spirit, and I think I think from about midway through the season, I think they were always the favourites to win the league. So yeah, but and I think they'll be in the top 4 again. I think maybe winning it might be a little bit beyond them this season.
We shall see. Ipswich at 3.
Oh, that's an interesting one. I've seen a lot of people raving about Ipswich. I'm not so sure myself. They've got a strong top 2.
Yeah, they have. Jason Doyle. Well, they've got a good strong top 3 when you look at it.
Yeah.
Jason Doyle, Danny King, Troy Batchelor, Eric Riss, Cameron Heaps, and Paul Stark. Reserve 7, Anders Rowe, and Reserve 8, Daniel Hume.
I've actually got Ipswich 3rd, but a lot of people are saying that they're favourites to win it, so I'm not so sure myself.
Okay, so you agreed with me with that?
To a point. To a point, yeah. So
I got Bellevue 2nd.
Not sure about Bellevue.
This was said. I worked this out before last night's match.
Yeah. You've had 24 hours to change, and you haven't.
Who have you got?
I've got Wolves 2nd.
Wolves 2nd.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I thought it'd be stupid if I just said Wolves first. People might think I'm biased. So.
You are biased for them at 2nd, to be honest. And I've got Sheffield
I've
to
got
win.
Sheffield top as well. I like the look of Sheffield. The big question mark I think over Sheffield, I think is going to be. Sometimes they can be a bit suspect on the road,
Right?
but I mean they had a fabulous win last night at.
But they've got.
Bellevue.
I mean, their team. They've got people that can ride all the tracks. You would have thought. I'm looking for the. Oh, there you are. Who am I looking for? Sheffield. Jack Holder, Adam Ellis, and Craig Cook. They can all ride tracks everywhere. Muslak.
Yep.
Carl Howarth. He's been everywhere.
Got to be worth pointing out as well. They won at Bellevue last night without Muslak and Cook. So.
And Stefan Nielsen.
Yep. Yeah, Sheffield for me, I think would be my pick to finish top.
Most people are doing
Sheffield.
Dave Twine's gone Sheffield, Peterborough, Wolves, and Kings Lynn.
Kings Lynn are stronger, I think, this season, but I'm not convinced they're top 4, to be honest.
And Spud's gone for the whole league, which is only 2 more than everybody else has been to.
Yeah.
Sheffield, Ipswich, Bellevue, Wolves, and then at the bottom Peterborough and Kings Lynn. So I mean, it seems to be very difficult to choose because everybody's all choosing different ones, except everybody's going with Sheffield, Ipswich, Wolves, Bellevue from Rich Thomas. So there you go.
Is this on the basis that Bellevue are going to make a change? Possibility.
possibility. Right. At this point, we haven't really got time to do it. We normally look at the matches coming up and give our predictions for them.
We're not going to do it. We'll just rush it, won't we?
Yeah. So we'll
Shall I
start.
put them on the? Do we did last year and put them on the shout box?
Oh yeah, you could do. Yeah.
Okay. So if you want to join in with our predictions for the meetings coming over, and we have a league. Most of you know it by now.
Yeah.
Just put your predictions. Obviously, you have to put your predictions in
Before
the matches.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Where do they do that? Where do they put the? Where are they going to?
They'll do it on the shout box after this.
On the shout box,
or on the page or group.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll find it.
We'll try and find it. Oh,
No, we will find it.
okay, you said that last year, and then there was a. Yeah.
And there's a super duper prize at the end of it. Apparently.
Is there
A T-shirt.
a T-shirt with?
Some writing on it.
It's a limited edition, so
To be decided.
it's that limited. It doesn't exist, does it?
As I recall, what we've done is we've done a Speedway Tavern T-shirt, but in the with the logo of it was in the colours of the person's favourite team.
No, we don't do that anymore.
No, we're not doing that.
Well, we can do, yeah. Okay, we'll do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes
It's
it
our logo in your colours then. Okay.
Yep.
okay.
Oh, God, they'll be returning them now from previous years.
Neil McCann says, "Great first show. Thank you very much."
Thank you.
Oh, we talking about us?
Yeah, I think so.
no,
I hope so. Anyway, I really hope so. Yeah, we love doing this thing. We haven't spoke about the GPs, other than to say I think we all agree Schmarzlink is probably.
He's probably the red hot
But
favourite.
you never know. Speedway's a funny old game.
Yeah, I mean, you think back the start of last year. I think me included, we're raving about Magic Janowski because he barely dropped a point in the first quarter of the season in Poland, but he had a great first Grand Prix,
And then he went
and just completely fell away since then. After that,
he did a Kasperzak.
yeah, be interesting to see.
Madsen to win Worlds. And there's a World Team Cup as well.
Yeah, defending our title. Well, now the
Isn't
World
that
Cup's
great?
next year, of course.
Yeah,
First
isn't it
World
great
Cup's
to say?
2023,
Isn't it great to say that though?
Yeah. Any home nation, that's a strange thing to say.
Yeah. I'd just like to say, get yourselves down to a Speedway match. Whoever you support, make sure you get to see your Speedway. Weather permitting, see you tomorrow. Yes, you will. Please don't. Let's not have a rain off. Please. I really think this is going to be a good match. There's been a couple of things on the Brummies forum moaning about it's a meaningless match and all the rest of it.
It's not meaningless for the riders at the end of the day.
No,
It's not.
It's not meaningless for a supporter. You get to see against a good team how your riders are stacking. Gives you an idea.
Can I say as well? I was at the practice on Wednesday. I thought the track looked very good.
Okay, yeah,
It looked very good. It was a bit dusty,
I was there
but
as well.
With the time of day,
It wasn't as dusty as it has been.
It certainly wasn't as dusty as Mumble was last
Well,
night. I know that.
that's true. Yeah, and so no, it's not a waste of time because, well, okay, so when Birmingham City have friendly matches against other teams at the beginning of the season, you don't call them a waste of time.
There's no such thing as, well, you know that.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as friendly matches anymore, is there?
No, but you don't call it a waste of time. You understand what
No,
it's
no,
for. It's
no.
to get your players up to speed.
Yeah, no, you want to win.
So-
You want to win, regardless.
So Spud says, a fantastic show. Missed these. Thanks for the chatter and a great show. Off to Great Yarmouth next week. We'll be tuning in from a bit further out. Something to look forward to. Enjoy yourself in Great Yarmouth. I'm off to see Birmingham against Coventry tomorrow.
Yep.
You'll be going to see Wolves against...
I should be at Peterborough tomorrow, of course.
Of course.
And obviously, Wolves against Sheffield on Monday.
I might go
Looking
and
forward to
see
one.
that. That's going to be a good... A lot of questions might be
Well,
answered.
you did sneak onto my patch last night, didn't you?
I
You
did
did
sneak
without
onto your
telling me,
patch, yeah. No, I was going to tell you, and then I saw the score, so... Hey-ho. Thank you very much for your great banter on the shout box, and we will see you next week. Take care, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Have a drink, have your say. All opinions here today. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Enjoy your stay.